Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Ristar. This is round 2, Planet Undertow. Planet Undertow is kind of interesting, actually. It's the water planet of Ristar, and unlike a lot of games that have really sloppy water levels where the controls are just like extremely loose and you can't really control yourself, this game actually has pretty good water levels. But let's get this bonus lever first. It's kind of clever that they would, put it out to the left, out of the way, where you wouldn't really think to look. So that one can be easily missed if you don't know where it is. For this one, we just want to swim around and go up to the chest, then go back the other way, and we can cut it off down here when it runs away from us, and get it in a little over 7 seconds. So that one's pretty easy too. So now we're dumped back into the level, and we can continue on. These fish don't do crap to you. I don't think they can even hurt you until they land on the ground, so there's really no reason to worry about them. So as I've said, the water levels in this game are just absolutely amazing. I mean, you can see how narrow of a margin you have in order to get through like enemies without getting hit and stuff. So it's a good thing that you have plenty of control, because there are enemies everywhere wanting you dead. And it's also a nice little touch that the further down that you go, actually, like the darker the water gets. You might be able to see here in a second. I'll be going down, and then the water gets darker the further you go down. It's kind of like as you go further down in the water, the sunlight can't reach that deep, you know? So it's kind of a neat little touch that they threw in there. It's a nice attention to detail. Anyway, we are pretty much done with 2-1. It's kind of a short level. Don't worry, the second one makes up for that big time. But this is the sort of mini-boss of 2-1, rather. And it's quite easy. It's just a series of enemies that ride up on the waves and just avoid whatever they do. This is actually the most threatening one, the fish, but, you know, it's still pretty easy to avoid, too. There's a lot of gaps in the little things that shoot out. And this is the third and final one. It's a bunch of jellyfish. They look kind of menacing and electric, but it's kind of funny because once they land, they can't breathe anymore, and they look like that. They look all sad and pathetic. Alright, so let's get our height bonus here. It's a little hard to get height bonuses here in Undertow, because you might have seen they're actually bumped up against the invisible ceiling. They're quite low in this world. I don't even know if it's possible to get that 20,100 in this one. I don't think it is, to be honest. The highest I've ever gotten is 8,000. So this is the Lost Palace. You may have seen that treasure chest up there. It's nothing important, it's just an extra life, but it can be handy to have, I suppose. If you want to get up there, just use these bubbles to jump across. These can be a little tricky. You don't really have a whole lot of space to stand. But once you get over here, that chest has an extra life, so that's cool. The gimmick here is you want to destroy these little faces that keep shooting out like seahorses. There's some later that'll shoot frogs. But whenever you do that, the way forward will open. There we are. So there's 4 treasure chests here. You've got to open the right ones. And that wasn't it, apparently. Let's try this one. There we go. Now the rest of them will contain treasure. And you basically, how much you get is just dependent on what your luck is. Because you could get seahorses the first 3 times and then only get a recovery star out of it. Whereas, you know, that time I only got 1 seahorse and got 3 treasures. You can get extra lives out of those also, depending on how well you do. There's going to be another one later that's pretty much just like that, except it's only 2 chests, so your luck is either doubled or halved, whichever way you want to look at it. And so we have sort of a mini-boss here. It's not really a boss, it's pretty much just like a large enemy. You know, kind of like in Mega Man, actually. They have like large enemies that take a few hits to kill, but they're not really boss caliber. It's kind of like that. So be quick here, because there's a fan on the other side. If you wait too long, it'll start blowing you backwards. So you definitely want to take care of that as soon as possible. There's some seahorse here. There's some seahorses here as the water is rising. You want to defeat them all in order to open the way forward. You can be fancy about it like me and kill them all before the water even gets there. Or if you want, you can just wait and they'll hit the water and you can hit them there pretty easily as well. I just like being fancy, I guess. Okay, now this one shooting out frogs, and it's incredibly hard to get without taking damage. But if you basically have to use the fact that you're somewhat invincible while you are like bouncing off of a wall and doing that little backflip in order to like catch a break in the frogs, pretty much. Whoa! All right, I got a little close there. Let's take this thing out. And we can move on. Now here's that those 2 chests I was talking about, so let's see how lucky I am. Not very, apparently. If you hit the right one, the first one will contain a recovery star, the second one will contain an extra life. So as I said, it's pretty much just luck. There's no real way to tell, like, which one's which. It's literally just blind luck. So we've got another Nautilus enemy here. This one's kind of different because it's a long horizontal thing instead of a big open square area. And we're pretty much at the end of the level, but first we have to take care of the bonus lever. We have to get to it the same way we got to that chest at the very beginning of the level. We gotta jump across these bubbles. And the bonus lever's right here. So the bonus lever in the first area of this world was right at the beginning, and the second area is right at the end. So this one looks a little bit menacing, and it is a little bit trickier than the previous ones. But the trick isn't actually getting up there, it's actually getting yourself into that little alcove. So let's just stop here. No. There we are. You really have to time your swings out if you want to get yourself up there. And that's some sort of teapot or something, I don't know. The treasures in this game, they don't make any sense. There's no need to pay any mind to them. They just look a little funny. Alright, let's see if we can get this one. Now this one is incredibly low, if I remember. Yeah, see? I didn't have any room to go up at all there. But now we're going into the boss arena, Osat Attack. And this is kind of a little ominous thing we got going on here. See, there's a small fish, there's a small fish, there's a small fish, and then there's a huge cage with no fish in it. And of course, our boss was probably contained in that cage is this big hammerhead shark thing. Basically, his deal is he likes to stay in the background, and you obviously can't do anything to him while he's back there. No, you can't grab him or anything. And he'll try to, like, knock things down on you. Sometimes he'll, like, come across and have bombs. Sometimes he'll have those little fish. He has a varying number of attacks, but you can pretty much hit him during any of them, except when he has the bombs. I don't know if I'm going to get him to do it here. Probably not, because he only has 1 hit left. But, so let's just wait for him to come back one more time. There we are, and that pretty much has him. That's actually easier than I normally have it. Sometimes he likes to stay in the background a lot, and sometimes he'll just come across so fast that you can't even grab him. So I got kind of lucky there. And let's tickle his tail just for a little extra torture. And we can move on. So that's Planet Undertow over with. The levels are still pretty easy at this point. But they're going to start getting harder. Maybe not so much in the next level, or the next world, rather. But the next world is noticeably trickier, so just be prepared for that, I guess. Anyway, we're unbelievable again. And in the next part, we're going to head into our third world. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.